Good afternoon, everyone.
Noon.
Can you hear okay? Everyone can hear okay? Okay. First, I'd like to suggest that everyone at least turn their ringers off. Probably would be a great thing to turn the phone off altogether, but if you could give us the courtesy of at least turning the ringer off. Today is a really special day in DC boxing, and to have been invited to participate was something that I feel very pleased about, and it's an honor to be here today. I'm going to not be too long-winded, but I do want to say something as someone who has been involved in one form or another in the boxing game for more than 35 years. The event today is focused on an announcement for a fight being at the University of the District of Columbia that is going to feature Dusty Hernandez-Harrison. Now, I just want to say something about Dusty Hernandez-Harrison. I have looked very closely at his fights. I've studied him on tape. And I want to say, again, as someone who's been in the game for a long time, who thinks I know a little something about what it takes to make a champion, what it takes what qualities it takes to become a champion, and the kind of team that is necessary to take championship quality and take it to the top of the boxing industry. All of those things are attended here with Dusty as an incredible fighter. He is a natural. He is someone that is a son of the soil, of the DMV, and someone that this region, in very short order, is going to look to the way they look at some of the other Washington, D.C. superstars right now. I'm telling you, this young man here, he has no limits whatsoever. And he's been obviously trained and coached and prepared with just the absolute best attention to detail by his dad. And it is an incredible combination that I really believe that is going to be a scintillating story for a very long time for Washington, D.C. First of all, quickly, if everyone would just kind of give yourselves a hand for being here. You know, let's relax and understand that we're here watching something special, but you know, you could have been other places, so there's great thanks for you to be here. Without too much further ado, the company that is putting this on is headed up by Jeff Freed. He has his partners, Phil Ivey, who needs no introduction, as the greatest poker player in the world, and of course, Monta Ellis. I see people's heads kind of spinning around. Yeah, Phil Ivey is a part of the all-in team. You know, if Jeff cares to, he can describe even how that name came up, all in. But what certainly I'm going to say, you see the efforts that are sparing no detail in the pursuit to take Dusty from where he is right now to the championship of the world. And what an incredible story. For those of you who may not know it yet, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, it's just something I'm really excited about, because I recognize a story when I see a story. This young man they're announcing a fight at the University of District of Columbia, where this young man not only is going to be a championship boxer in the ring, he's looking to be a champion outside of the ring and continue to pursue his education at the University of the District of Columbia to give Washington, D.C. so much to be proud about. Without any further ado, someone who has reached the pinnacle of success in many different fields, whether it be aviation, whether it be real estate, whether it is in the legal profession. Jeff Freed is someone that has become an absolute titan in the business world. He is his expertise, his legal counsel, his opinion has been sought by folks from all around the world, and for him to be heading up this company, All In, that is bringing Dusty to the Washington, D.C. University District of Columbia Center and making sure that Dusty has a home and that the fans are able to appreciate his incredible talent. A lot of credit goes to Jeff, who is very serious about bringing quality championship boxing to Washington, D.C. with EPIX Television, with the support of the Jordan brand. This is the real deal, folks. And I want to thank you for my little short time. Jeff, please, you take it from here. I should say, I gave him all of those accolades. More special to me is that he's been my friend for about 40 years now.
Rock, thank you all, and thank you very much for coming. I'm going to be very brief. Over all these years, you never ever follow Rock Newman speaking, just so you know. And of course, I violated the #1 rule. But here's truly what is most special. The person that just spoke with you, and was a dear friend of mine, is the individual that got me involved in professional boxing. He was the one that had faith in me some 25 years ago. So it's quite emotional. It's just so very special to me that it's Rock Newman here introducing this fight, and me considering the fact that he's the one that's responsible for me being here in so many ways. And one of the things I'll tell you, we started out some 25 years ago, and we learned on the job. The only one that had a clue, I see Ron Harris is here. Ron was along with me. We didn't know what we were doing. We were learning on the job. Rock had confidence in us. He had the experience, and here's what came out of that experience. Teamwork. When you have a team, you can really achieve anything. And the people that were part of Rock's group back 25 years ago are still our family and friends today. And that is what we're trying to emulate with Dusty, Buddy, and our team and family. It takes a team. And I just wanted to just spend one moment to thank some very special people that have permitted us to be here today. And one thing I've learned from my wife and my mother, may she rest in peace, is you always have to thank Mom. And Dusty, before each fight, we're in the dressing room and there's two things that he does. I don't want to give away the secrets in case a potential opponent is here. But what he does is we have our own special moment in prayer, and Dusty calls his mom Linda. So Linda, thank you very much for being such a part of this team. You really mean a lot. And I just want to let you know, he always is asking about you right before the fight and right after the fight. So thank you. And there's so many others. Just to mention a few, I mentioned my wife, Pat, who has put up with this 25 years of running around all over the world. And we have Buddy. Buddy has been the rock-solid mentor, father, friend, disciplinarian, everything needed to raise a young person, a teenager, let alone an athlete. T, I don't know what T is, I saw her earlier. Thank you so much for all your support. Absolutely. And then here's truly one of the things, in our All-In family, we truly work together. There are times everyone's busy, and I'm the one that has to run and get the coffee because everyone's busy working. I see Sherry Francis is here. Thank you so much, Sherry, for everything you do. Tammy, I saw, was here early. I'm sure she's probably working. Michael Walters, thank you very much for everything you do. And then, is Ben here? Did Ben arrive?
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
Okay, because here's one thing, and then I want to introduce some fine people. Here's what's wonderful. Dusty's 14-0. He's working hard. He's a fine young man, a fine young athlete. the people were there that when he was an amateur, when he was really learning his trade, those are the same people that are there now. And that's something we agreed, we talked about early. Those that have been loyal and supportive, we want them along with us because it takes a team. And I just want to make one little mention, and it's Tammy Crump. Can you just stand up, please? Because you don't understand that. Tammy, here's how this works. This all becomes a success if people have come to the events and if they support you. And Tammy is the #1 fan of young Dusty, regardless of the event. Her own question today. What?
It's about 60 ringside.
Well, yes, she does buy a lot of tickets. Her question today is, will the tickets be available? We actually, Sherry last night went to get the tickets printed at 11 o'clock tonight knowing you were being here. So, but I just want to let everyone know it really is about teamwork. I'd like to introduce a couple of people up here to say a few words. Washington, D.C., there's no better representative than Rock Newman for what he stands for, and he spoke about our goal to bring and continue boxing right here, and that is done with the Washington, D.C. Boxing Commission. I saw Skip Brown earlier. I hope Alfred Grant is here. If he isn't, he's going to have to answer to me because he's a good friend. I'm glad you're here, Mr. Grant. And then the chairman, I want to introduce Scotty Irving. Scotty is the chairman of the D.C. Boxing Commission. He's the individual that keeps everything in order because safety and making sure the rules are followed is something that is very important. We're about integrity and character, and that's what this commission is about. Scotty, if you just say a few words, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank Rock Newman for his historical contribution to boxing in Washington, D.C. It was Rock years ago that found all the great local talent and produced the great local talent so we can always have world championship fights here in Washington, D.C. It's been Jeff that has continued that legacy to look at the local talent and make sure that the local talent get an avenue to grow and a vein to grow. It's real simple at what we do at the Boxing Commission. We move paper. All we do is move paper to make sure that the fighter's safety is protected, that the fighter's weight is right, and that the fight goes off without a hitch. That's what we do. It's the promoters, it's the local guys, it's the local talent that make us what we are. Over the last 2 or 3 years, the Boxing Commission has been doing an outstanding job because of the local promoters, because of the local talents. I remember meeting Dusty, I think a year and a half ago, and he was 17 at that time and moving towards 17, and someone needed me to sign some paperwork. And let me tell you, I almost had a heart attack. To sign the paperwork of someone 17, knowing the history of boxing, knowing the concussions, knowing the body damage that will come about from a person being a boxer, and someone asked me to sign the paperwork for a 17-year-old kid, it frightened me. But I got a chance to see him train and see him in action, and I was able to sign the paperwork. I was comfortable enough to sign the paperwork. And let me tell you, I'm very happy that I signed that paperwork. You know, it's nothing that we could do to enhance Dusty's career at the Boxing Commission. But I do wish him the best of luck. I wish DC the best of luck with coming out and cheering them on. And I hope we sell out UDC like we sold out the DC Armory, like we sold out the Convention Center a year and a half ago. So DC, let's continue to get out and let's continue to support our local talent, whether it's in the rapping arena or the singing arena or the boxing arena. Let's continue to support our local talent. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Local talent is what this event is all about. And there's some wonderful local talent right in this room. I do want to introduce one gentleman that is going to be in a major fight. A major heavyweight attraction. Rock mentioned this is on EPIX television. It is their first live U.S. production in the United States on boxing, and we feel honored that they've chosen Washington, D.C. and us to be part of it. And EPIX, you will hear a lot about them in the years ahead in boxing, and we're very grateful to Mark Greenberg, Roy Langford, Travis, Jasmine. They have just been special, and what they did is give us the liberty to showcase our local talent. Phil Brown, where are you, Phil? Phil Brown, stand up please. That small gentleman over there Phil is going to be in a heavyweight special attraction on television. And here's the big difference. You need exposure. There are many great, and Wale is going to be able to speak to this because you don't get any bigger than him. And at the end of the day, there's many talented athletes, entertainers. They need the right team around them, and they need the right exposure. When I saw Phil earlier and his manager, I said one thing. I said, young man, you have a wonderful opportunity, and now it's up to you to take advantage of it. And that's what we can do, is provide the opportunities. This event is special because it's being held at the University of the District of Columbia. I don't want to keep going down memory lane. Rock Newman promoted an event there, Riddick Bowe versus Pinklin Thomas. We were young with hair, and everyone was saying how stylish we were back then. So I would like to bring up, Mike Riley has been with the University of the District of Columbia for quite a while, and we are setting up that venue. When you see that on national TV and you see that in person, it's going to make you very proud that the University of the District of Columbia is right here in Washington. I'd like Mike Riley just to come up and say a few words.
I'm going to be quicker than Scotty. First of all, on behalf of the President, James Lyons, Dr. James Lyons at the University of District of Columbia, Barbara Jumper, who is the Vice President of Facilities, Real Estate, and Safety, and the Director of Athletics, Patricia Thomas. We're very excited to have champion class to come along with Dusty, and bringing champion class, the other boxers, to the university. We will work closely, and we have, with Jeffrey's office, also Rock Newman, to make sure that this is a successful event at the University of District of Columbia. Thank you, and good luck to all the boxers.
Mike Reed, where's Mike? Mike Reed, that young man right there, 2011 National Golden Gloves champion from Washington, D.C. He will be on this card. Mike, thank you for joining us, and best wishes. You are a young future champion. Keep working hard. We hear such wonderful things about you. So we're glad you're on our card. I'd like to bring up someone now that we're honored to have here. And Rich Kleiman, we've been talking about, what it takes to be a star athlete. He has guided the career of someone who has now reached the top in his field, from Washington, D.C. And we were speaking in the office just now. It is not easy to get there, and then it's not easy to stay there. And this young man has the talent, the will, and when we were outside taking pictures, he was saying, I wonder if people know which one of us is the rapper and which one is the boxer. And that's because it takes a lot of effort. There's so much respect we have for this person. We're so honored that he came here, a friend of Dusty, and obviously doesn't need any introduction anywhere in the United States. Wale, thank you for coming. Please say a few words.
When Wale was walking in, we were walking in together, and they confused me with him. They didn't know which one of us was Wale.
No, they do that often with Rock, as you can see.
I'm not good at public speaking, but I think the stars align for this one because I don't know, I'm all about like divine intervention and stuff like that. Like both of my parents, they met at UDC. They both went to UDC.
Oh wow!
And they, that's where they met at, and had me, a little bit after that. And and Dusty, like he got a special place in my heart because I don't know if many of y'all know, I lost like one of my closest family members in a car accident, and he was one of the top boxers in the area. And Dusty offered his purse from one of his fights for my cousin Bo, and I'm trying not to get choked up. I'm all about DC sports. I walk around with my Redskin chain on, and I argue with Skip Bayless every couple months on ESPN. So I'm all about DC sports, and it's a good time for DC sports. Redskins winning, Capitals, I think they're winning.
They're winning 8 in a row.
Nationals is winning, so we're gonna Young is gonna be a champ. So I'm here for the ride, man. I hope everybody else is.
So it actually takes a lot of mentors for a young person in life generally, and especially someone in the sports and entertainment and the public image and the industry and what comes with it. And Wale, thank you for being that for Dusty, because you've been there, you're a few years ahead of him, and I know what you mean to him. So thank you for that. I also wanted to just thank a few people. Jordan brand. Everyone knows the Jordan brand. It is about exclusivity. Thank you, Ron. He's been watching out for me for 30 years. And the Jordan brand is the sponsor of this event. And if you look at the Jordan athletes and you see what they're all about, and you look at the Carmelo Anthonys, the Chris Pauls, the Blake Griffins, the Russell Westbrooks in basketball, they always support what they consider the elite level athletes. Derek Jeter. And when I presented this event to them and what we were doing, and I showed them what Dusty was all about, both in and out of the ring, and that's the thing I do want to express. Jordan and our company, we're about the character of the individual. They could be the greatest athlete in the world. It's someone that really has to appreciate, work hard. Dusty is as fine a talent in the ring as he is a human being outside the ring, and obviously that's his parents, which need all of the thanks for that. But Jordan spent time with them, they watched the tapes, they spoke with me, so when you come May 18th, you're going to see a sponsorship by Jordan brand that you've never seen before, and we're honored that they've chosen to work with us in this area. Right now, I'd like to bring up the gentleman that has been there from day one. And he is the one that has to make sure he gets the miles in, the jab is crisp, that he also gets the right sleep, that he also gets his schoolwork done, and him and his mom, they have jobs beyond the ring. But I will tell you, when we met, this gentleman, I just knew right away he was my type of person. And just so you know, one of the things in our contractual arrangement is that Dusty would continue his college education. That was an obligation that we specifically put in there, because while we certainly expect, want, hope that young, great athletes like Mike, Phil, Dusty are all going to be world champions, it's also important in our world that they prepare for themselves outside the ring. And when I heard Wale say that your parents met at the University of the District of Columbia, that is, wow. If we would have known that as we were preparing for this press conference, that would have been all over the place. But I want to bring up the gentleman that is there at 5 in the morning, 11 p.m., and I'm very, very honored to say, as Rock shared with me, my friend, Buddy Harrison.
Well, first of all, his jab's crisp. He don't get up early in the morning. You know that. I mean, he sleeps till 3, maybe, or 4. You know, I don't really know where to start. Those of you who know me well, we've been doing this since, I kid you not, before Dusty could walk. I heard Mr. Urban say he was frightened for the 17-year-old. Well, his mother's still frightened like that today. And so am I. You know, he's very young. And from the time he was 6 or 7, we always talked about this moment right here with everybody. And it's like a dream come true for me. There's so many people to think I wouldn't know where to begin. Like I see Gary Williams here, and he's been following Dusty since he's probably 7, before he was even able to box. And they've even gotten awards together in the Hall of Fame. I don't know where to begin. You know, I just know that, you know, people say to me, his mother and my wife always say, you know, I live with boxing, I'm obsessed with it. That's not the case. Having you all as friends means much more than the boxing. And after meeting Jeff, you know, now I got a new friend. If boxing failed tomorrow, I still have a friend in Jeff. I'm just as happy as can be. Thank all of you for coming.
So, one other person that I want to really express our appreciation because we talk about mentors. Andre Ward is the absolute best pound-for-pound fighter in the world today. Andre Ward is the super middleweight champion of the world. He's back in Oakland. He came in on Friday when Dusty fought at Dover Downs Casino. He came in to support Dusty. He came in to give him a few words of wisdom before the fight. He sat right there at ringside with me, and you would think he was in the fight with his body movement and his motion and support. I can't say enough about the role model that Andre Ward is for young people, and I'm just so thankful that he's in our life, and he could not have a better student and someone to look after and follow his lead as Dusty. A couple of other people, young men that are on the card, and I don't know if they're here, is Kevin Rivers. Kevin Rivers, you here? Kevin, welcome. Michael Walters, I know you have been very high on a number of the young fighters here. Greg Newby. Greg, welcome. Welcome. You guys are going to be ready for prime time, and you're going to do just fine. I'd like to now bring up a young man who is not really a young man of many words, as we're in this situation. But with Rock over here and me over here, there's really not much left anyway, for time-wise. But one thing I do want to share is you cannot become a great athlete, a great champion, without being a solid person. It catches up to you. I'm not saying that you cannot get there, but to stay at the top, you have to have a maturity that goes beyond your sport. And we talk about this often, Buddy and I. There's in-the-ring activity. Dusty is a very talented boxer. He's 14-0. He's 18 years old. There's growth that has to take place in the ring for all of these young, great fighters that are here that I just mentioned. They all are learning and growing, but they'll get there. But they also have to be able to handle what takes place outside the ring. And that's something where Dusty can handle it. I've learned that because I had a question to myself, do we want to do this? Do we want to go this big? Do we want to really, when we get going, we get going? And is he ready? And the answer is yes, he's ready. He'll handle himself when the bell rings, not concerned about that. But is he ready for what comes with it? And that's where, again, Linda, Buddy, T, you know, they've done their job. And just, he's a bright young man. He doesn't get too up, too down, and that's what you need. So I would like to introduce you to a young man that you're going to be hearing a lot of, a University of District of Columbia incoming student in June, and fighting at the University of District of Columbia on May 18th, Dusty Harrison.
Good evening. So, since I turned professional, I realized that it takes a lot more than just being a good athlete to make it. And every day I realize that I have a better team around me. And you know, it really just comes down to me and the work that I put in the gym and how I act outside of the ring. So it's really all up to me. And one quick story to knock it off, because I don't talk too much. I ran into Dan Thomas downstairs, but when I met him in Jeff's office, he told me, he said, when I first met Jeff, I thought it was fake. You know, I never thought that somebody could be this nice in this business. But so far, Jeff has proved everything. You know, he's a good person, and I trust him a lot, and I'm glad that I'm signed with him. And I just want to thank my mom, my stepmom, my dad, and see y'all May 18th.
Thank you. Rock alluded to it. Just want to thank two people. By the way, Chris Lorenzo is here. Chris is family to me. He, Phil Ivey, and I, because Rock mentioned that poker player that you might have heard of, the guy that just won his 9th bracelet in Australia. Very much part of our team. Last night, not that I'm an expert in this, I all of a sudden get a tweet that Phil sent a tweet to you saying,
He's like, congrats team.
Congrats to our Dusty. So all of a sudden now I'm getting Twitter messages. So be it. And then how All In Entertainment was named. It was